People often claim that tonneau covers help improve fuel economy on pickup trucks. Is that true? Today we're going to go find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got a real-world fuel economy test for the tonneau cover on our 2022 Ford Maverick long-termer. We recently picked up a tonneau cover from Truxedo, which we'll see in a moment here, and I've pushed this video off a little longer than I should have, but I'm still curious, what sort of fuel economy advantages do we get when having the tonneau cover on there closed versus open? So in today's test, we're going to go out and do 60 miles with the tonneau cover open, come back, and then do 60 miles with the tonneau cover closed, come back and see what the differences are. Before we get started, let's hop out, take a look at the truck. This, if you haven't seen it before, excuse the loud highway noise there, I apologize. This is our long-term Maverick XLT. It's the 2-liter EcoBoost model with FX4 and 4K tow packages, so it's a very versatile, usable, but still affordable Maverick. We've got about 10,000 miles on it. We've been very happy with it so far. If you want to see more on the truck, check the links in the description. We've got over a dozen videos covering various aspects of this truck's ownership. A few accessories that we've talked about here: the Sentry CT tonneau cover from Truxedo. If you want to see more on that, again, links in the description, as well as our bed rug. I'm going to make it in the back of our truck more usable. I'm going to pull this up and roll it back here. We're going to open it so we can get started with the test. In order to keep it open properly, you use these straps, and I'll link it around right there, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Tighten them both so it tucks right up. I will say the Sentry CT cover definitely sits thicker because these are solid aluminum slats for security and strength there, but a softer roll-up cover would obviously roll up a little bit tighter against the bed. But now we've got it open. We're going to see if that aerodynamic aspect makes a difference for our highway fuel economy. We've done fuel economy tests on both our long-term Maverick here, the 2-liter, plus the hybrid Maverick as well, the front-wheel drive model. Those are the standard tests where we go out and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour. But in this test, we're going to go a little bit shorter since we are doing two. We're going to do 60 miles, so 30 out, 30 back on the exact same route both times, and all our filling methods are still going to be the same. We're still going to use a 3-click fueling method. We're going to average 70 miles per hour, have the GPS set at 72, all those same protocols. A few other things to note for today: the outside temperature is 48 degrees Fahrenheit, quite a bit chillier than the last few days. Fall is settling in. I can't remember what the weather conditions were like when we ran the last Maverick test, but it'll be interesting to see if the numbers are at all different given the extra mileage on the truck, different temperatures, all sorts of things. We are going to have our climate control set at 73 degrees auto as well, and our tire pressures have been set to the door placard 35 psi cold. All right, let's hop out and fill it up. 9.991 gallons going in for our first fill. Before we start the engine, we're going to reset car's trip computer and our GPS, and we're ready to begin. Now, the FX4 Maverick does not have an eco mode. That's something you see in the non-FX4 models and especially the hybrid, but no eco for us. So we're just going to do this test in normal. That's how Alyssa normally drives this truck anyway. Just a little 0.3 mile run to the highway, and we'll be on our way. Now, we're not going to be hypermiling on either of these trips. We're going to be trying to drive as identically on the first leg as the second, but overall just driving as you might in the real world. We're going to get up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and set our cruise control at a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour. No adaptive cruise control in our XLT Maverick, but that is plenty fine with me. Just got 60 miles here of easy cruising, so in the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. the end of the first leg of the fuel test here, as this Explorer tries in earnest to ride my ass and get by. Thanks a lot, appreciate that. Very impressive number. I am surprised. I don't know if it's because these tires have 10,000 miles on them at this point, the motor's been worn in a little bit, maybe just because of the weather, but 32.4 MPG according to the vehicle's trip computer. That's quite a bit better than the 30.1 that we got the first time we ran this test with this truck, and we have averaged 70 miles per hour, so running along just fine. I'm really quite impressed, and this should be a fairly status quo because the tonneau cover is rolled up. For this next portion of the test, we're going to go back, fill it up, and roll the tonneau cover down, close it up, and I'm expecting us to get even better numbers, which is really darn cool. Very impressed by this car, this powertrain. What I'm not impressed with is my ability to get off the highway right here. Sorry about this, Mr. Truck. All right, let's get back to the pump, see what we get. Another aspect that's pretty interesting, the Maverick's trip computer seems to be dead on accurate with the GPS, 60.8, both according to the vehicle and our GPS unit. Tonneau cover closed up. 1.862 gallons going in for our second fill. 60.8 divided by 1.862 is giving us, man, look at that accuracy. 32.6, technically 32.7 MPG. Let's see what the truck's final readout was. 32.5. Man, this truck is just really hitting everything accurate. I am impressed. Okay, let's do the whole thing again. Reset the GPS, reset the car's trip computer, and let's hit it. Coming into the end of the second leg of the fuel economy test here in the Maverick, tonneau cover flattened, and I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, I am seriously impressed with the fuel economy of this little truck. 34.2 miles per gallon according to the vehicle's trip readout, which, as we saw from our last fill up and the first fill up of this truck when we tested it earlier this year, this readout on the vehicle's trip computer is very accurate. So we are getting better with the tonneau cover on here on the highway than we did with the hybrid truck without a tonneau cover on the same test. The hybrid truck, if I remember correctly, got 33 miles per gallon, and we are getting over 34. That's before we even get off the highway here and filled up. So I am very, very impressed. Based on my quick math, that should be about a 6% increase in fuel economy with the tonneau cover on. I'm having to accelerate just a little bit here. Again, another dicey situation. It's always a tough section of highway getting off this off-ramp here. But I'm going to get this back to the pump and fill it up and see what our final number is. But yeah, I am super happy with that. So this is pretty interesting. On this fill up, we actually ended up putting in almost the exact same amount of fuel. And I'm a little bit skeptical of that. I think there's a little bit more margin of error in the filling aspect, going from a full to a full to a full like that, and trying to line it up perfectly. So even though 60.8 divided by 1.863 is also giving us 32.6 miles per gallon, I am more inclined to go off the vehicle's trip computer, since we know that seems to be fairly accurate, and we see a very distinct difference in what we read for this test versus the first route. So I'm going to go off of that. We're going to go 34.4 miles per gallon for our final readout, minus the 32.6 when we pulled in here last time. That's giving us 1.8 mile per gallon difference divided by that original 32.6 times 100. It's given us a 5.5% difference, and we'll give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt to the pump rate out there to drop down to 5%. So something that I think is significant, especially if you do a lot of highway driving. I think 5% increase in fuel economy is gonna make a difference. Let's do another quick little bit of math just for fun. If you were to travel 1,000 miles without the tonneau cover, getting 32.6 miles per gallon times $4 a gallon for regular gas, you're going to be spending about $123. If you were to multiply that by 95, if you're saving 5% on gas, you're looking at, not even a $10 difference to do 100 miles. Yeah, that's going to add up over the lifetime of the truck. If you put 30, 40,000 miles on the truck, all of a sudden you're saving a few $100s. So I would say it's significant, especially when you add on the other advantages to having the tonneau cover, the protection, the keeping your stuff dry out of the elements, and the sort of smoother look. I think overall kind of helps justify putting the money in to get a tonneau cover on your truck. Another thing that my father pointed out is a truck with a longer bed is probably going to see bigger gains in fuel economy putting a tonneau cover on versus the Maverick. Maverick's only got a 4.5 foot bed, so aerodynamically you might not be making that big of a difference compared to something like a full-size truck with a 6.5 foot bed, or maybe even an 8 foot bed on a big work truck. That's probably going to have a much bigger difference. So maybe with my father's truck, he's got a 6.5 foot bed on his Tacoma. Maybe we'll run this test also and see what sort of differences we see. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all found that interesting and informative like I did. Thank you to Truxedo for their Sentry CT tonneau cover, which we use regularly here on our Maverick and been very happy with. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.